Okay, fifth one, experiment direct loading method on single phase transformer. Here 5 should be there. Okay, so transformer symbol. Whenever you use transformer in electronic circuit, like this symbol you can use to represent the transformer. This is the primary winding. This is secondary winding with some turns, and two straight line indicates the magnetic core. Primary and secondary winding both are made up of copper. Okay, and they are insulated with some insulating material, and both the windings are wound on common magnetic core. This two straight line indicate magnetic core, which is made up of silicon steel, and both the windings are wound on it. Okay, now whatever the turns are, this is the symbol of transformer. Here by mistake I have written 4, here it should be 5. Okay, now turns on primary side are denoted as N1, turns on secondary N2. Current flowing through primary winding is denoted as I1. Current flowing through secondary winding is denoted as I2. And resistance of primary winding is R1 and resistance of secondary winding is R2. Okay, both are made up of copper. So N1, I1, R1 and N2, I2, R2 are primary and secondary side parameters. Okay, so this is the symbol of transformer. Now what are the specifications of transformer? Transformer in detail you will learn in third unit in theory. Okay, so whatever today we are going to learn, each and every point you will learn in theory also. Whatever from practical point of view required in brief today I will cover. Okay, so this is a single phase transformer. Its kVA rating is 1 kVA. Its specifications are given as every transformer, it is not open, it is covered with outer metallic body, and on that outer metallic body you will see one rectangular shape nameplate, and on that nameplate these specifications are written. Okay, so 1 kVA transformer, primary side, how much voltage you are going to apply? How much voltage you are going to apply on primary side in this experiment?
110.
Correct, 110 volt, and on secondary you will get it 220 volt. Means it is a step up or step down transformer?
Step up.
Step up transformer. That's why what you have to do, whenever you will draw the circuit diagram, see here, this is the circuit diagram of transformer. This is the primary winding turns, these are the secondary winding turns, and this is the two straight line indicates magnetic core. Below it you have to write the specifications. Okay, so 1 kVA, 110 volt, 220 volt, single phase, 50 hertz transformer. You mention here it's a single phase, 50 hertz. Okay, so you can find turns on secondary, you have to draw more compared to primary because it is a step up transformer. Okay. Then single phase 50 hertz. Now what is the application of this three, that is kVA rating, primary side voltage and secondary side voltage? Okay, so using this you can calculate I1 full load and I2 full load. Once you get I1 full load and I2 full load, I will show you from readings. See here, this is the formula, third one calculation. You see what is the, in the calculations you have to do it. What is the formula for I1 full load? It's the kVA rating into 10 to the power 3 divided by V1. Okay, and what is the formula for I2 full load? kVA rating into 10 to the power 3 divided by V2. Now kVA rating is 1, it's a K, that's why into 10 to the power 3, and V1 is 110 volt and V2 is 220 volt. What is I1 full load you are getting here? Yes, how much I1 full load you got here?
9.09.
Correct, 9.09 ampere. And what's about I2 full load? How much you got here?
4.545.
Correct, 4.545 ampere. Okay, so what is the application of these two values? Once you get, you will derive in theory this formula. Okay, you will learn this formula for I1 full load, I2 full load. So what is its application? Once you get this value, means how much load you can put on the transformer, so that current in primary should not be more than 9.09 ampere and current in secondary should not be more than 4.545 ampere. Okay, that is its application. You can see here all readings of I1. If you see the observation table, the parameters are V1, I1, W1, V2, I2, W2. What is the value of V1? Yes, observe V1. How much it is?
110.
Correct, 110 volt, and this one value we are going to keep constant throughout the experiment for all reading. Okay, now see I1, if you observe, it is not more than 9.09 ampere, and I2, if you observe, it is not more than 4.545 ampere. First one reading we are going to take at no load. If you observe, out of the 6 reading, first one reading we are going to keep secondary or transformer open. Okay, means no load will be there on it. And then from second reading, 2 lamps in parallel, 4, 6, 8 and 10. 10 lamps in parallel across transformer will connect, and that's why it is called as direct loading method. Directly load you are going to apply on it. Okay, so load on transformer will go on increasing. So how much load you can put on transformer so that current in primary should not be more than 9.09 ampere, and current in secondary should not be more than 4.545 ampere. Okay, so otherwise what will happen, that windings will burn, then you have to replace the windings. Replacement cost is more. All of you know copper is very expensive, and insulated windings is required. Okay, and both the windings are wound on core, so replacement cost increases, right? So better way, do not overload the transformer. That is the significance of this I1 full load and I2 full load. If you find current is above this value, immediately remove the load. Okay, don't overload the transformer. Now this is about the transformer. Now see, on this is the circuit diagram, which one we are using from this for this experiment. How much voltage you have to apply on primary? 110 volt. Available everywhere is which one voltage? Yes, how much? What are the voltage?
220 to 230.
Correct, 220 volt available everywhere, single phase 50 hertz. Then how can you apply 110 volt? You can use auto transformer. So see here, auto transformer is connected. This one is a single phase variac. Auto transformer is also called as variac and demostat. So auto transformer, input is AC, output is AC. Now see, this one transformer we have seen, for this input is AC, output is also AC. It works only on AC. How many windings are there? Primary winding is there, secondary winding is there, with N1 and N2 number of turns. Okay, so here 2 windings you can find, and transformer is used to step up and step down the voltage. Across its secondary you will get the fixed voltage, plus minus 5% tolerance will be there. Okay, now what's about auto transformer? Auto transformer symbol, if you observe, see how many windings it has. Observe over here, how many windings it has? Only single winding. Okay, only single winding. This is the step down auto transformer. It also has 2 types, step up, step down. It also works on AC. Input is AC, output is AC. Okay, it is a single phase. The transformer is also single phase, means single winding on primary, single winding on secondary. Okay, so this is auto transformer. Auto transformer. So across these 2 input terminals, all turns are there. See, all turns are there on primary. Okay, so how much voltage you have to apply? Single phase 220 volt, 50 hertz AC supply you have to apply across it. And output you can tap from this terminal and one variable. If you see auto transformer, practically 1 3-pin it has, that you have to put in a socket, means you are going to apply this one input. And on its body, one black color knob is there that you can rotate. Initially it is at off position. Off position means this variable point initially is at position O. Okay, and this variable point you can move. Move means that black color knob you can move in clockwise direction till maximum position. Okay, and there are the 2 output terminals. One is fixed and another is variable. So across this 2 output terminal, you will get the output voltage. Now you tell me, whenever we switch on single phase AC voltage and this variable point is at position O, suppose this fixed point I'll represent as E. So is there any turns on output side across O and E? Any turns are there across
No.
OE? No turns are there, means even if you apply 220 volt, how much voltage is available across these 2 output terminals? As no turns are there means how much voltage? 0
Zero.
volt. 0 volt. Very good. Okay, so it will be 0 volt. Now what you have to do? It's initially that black color knob is at 0 position, means it is at position O. Now what you have to do? Go on changing that variable point from position O up to A. Turns across these two output terminals increases, and that's why voltage also increases. Suppose for this auto transformer, output voltage range is 0 to 180 volt. What does it mean? It's a step down. Okay, that's why on primary it is a more voltage, on secondary range is less. What does it mean? This variable point, as you go on changing from position O up to A, turns across two output terminal go on increasing, and voltage in this range will be available. 0 to 180 volt means 5 volt, 2 volt, 10 volt, 15, 20, 50, okay, 75. Any voltage up to 180 volt you can you will get across these two output terminals. Okay, so means are you getting variable output voltage across these two output terminals, and that's why it is called as variac also. Demostrat auto transformer variac. What is its application? Clear? Everywhere available is fixed voltage. So whenever you wanted to apply variable AC voltage, go for auto transformer. Auto transformer application clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So see here, all of you can see auto transformer. This is that's all turns. See here, these turns are there across primary. Connect this 3 pin in phase in socket. Switch on means 220 volt. You are going to apply across its primary, and then across its secondary. This is the variable knob. You go on changing so that this voltmeter reading is how much? How much voltage we wanted to apply across primary? If you observe this voltmeter V1.
110.
Correct. This voltmeter reading, its range is 0 to 150 volt. Okay, so its reading should be 110 volt. Go on changing this variable knob. Okay, so primary side clear. Now I wanted to measure current flowing through primary winding also. So what I have done here, one ammeter I have connected. Similarly on secondary side also I wanted to measure current flowing through secondary winding. So one ammeter is connected in series with secondary winding. Now and one voltmeter across primary. This is V1, this is I1. So this voltmeter range is 0 to 150. Now observe the voltmeter on secondary. What you do, whenever you will draw this diagram, don't connect this voltmeter across secondary. Connect it across load. Here load is written. So this whatever this voltmeter, this you have to connect across load. And mention here it's a voltmeter and range is 0 to 300 volt. This correction everyone got? Have you got the correction in diagram? Don't connect.
explain करो.
हे जो voltmeter है ना इथे, whatever the voltmeter is connected across secondary, don't connect it across secondary. This one voltmeter 0 to 300 secondary दिख रहा है across secondary. Do not connect it over here. Connect it across load. Okay. So load here, arrow symbol is there, means load is not constant. We are changing the load continuously. First one reading at no load, and then 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10 lamps in parallel. All are tungsten filament incandescent lamp. Okay. Now transformer input is single phase AC power. Output is also single phase AC power. So what is the formula for single phase AC power? What is the formula for single phase AC power? VI cos phi. Okay, unit is watt and it is denoted by capital P. So along with voltmeter ammeter reading, power factor also required. So what is used to measure the power in AC circuit? In DC circuit, what is the formula for DC power? Yes, DC power का क्या formula है?
V into I.
V into I means only voltmeter ammeter reading is sufficient. Connect one voltmeter, connect one ammeter and note down the voltmeter ammeter reading, take its product, you will get the power. But what's about for AC circuit? Cos phi also required. So what is used to measure the power? Wattmeter. So wattmeter symbol is this one. See, this is a symbol, current coil, and this is pressure coil. 4 terminals it has, M, L, C, V. Okay, current coil 2 terminals are marked as M and L, pressure coil 2 terminals are marked as C and V. So like this is the symbol which is used for wattmeter. So see here in circuit diagram, one wattmeter is connected on primary side, 4 terminals M, L, C, V it has, okay. And second one wattmeter is connected on secondary side. It also has 4 terminals M, L, C, V, okay. If I now what W1 W2 will give you input, W1 will give you single phase AC input power and W2 will give you single phase output AC power. If I take the ratio of W2 by W1, what I will get? Yes, if I take the ratio of W2 by W1, what I will get?
0.5.
Efficiency. What you will get? No, yet we don't know about the values of W1 and W2. We don't know the values of W1 and W2. My question is, if what is the formula of W2 by W1? So it is a formula of what? Efficiency. So how we are going to calculate efficiency of this transformer? Clear? Direct loading method we are going to perform over here to calculate the efficiency and voltage regulation of this transformer. So how we are going to calculate the efficiency? Clear? Connect one wattmeter on secondary, connect one wattmeter on primary, and take W2 by W1 into 100, you will get the percentage efficiency. Next one is we are going to calculate voltage regulation also. Okay, so efficiency, how we are going to calculate? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now here see, whenever you wanted to note down W1 and W2 reading, whatever the scale is there, suppose this is the scale in wattmeter, it starts from 0 and it ends at 750 watt. So this scale maximum full scale deflection is how much? Full scale deflection maximum deflection is how much? 750 watt. And then one pointer is also there. Okay. Suppose this pointer is on 100 watt. So reading is not 100 watt. Reading is not 100 watt. So what is the reading? 100 into multiplying factor will be the reading of this wattmeter. Okay. So multiplying factor, how to calculate multiplying factor? This is the formula. See, V range into I range into cos phi divided by maximum scale deflection. V range is how much? See here. What is the V range given? 150 volt. What is I range? 10 ampere. For this wattmeter, 300 volt and 5 ampere. Okay. So what will be the multiplying factor for first one wattmeter? See, V range is 150 watt. I range is 10 ampere. Cos phi it's given by manufacturer. Its power factor is 1 and maximum scale deflection, full scale deflection is 750. So 1500 divided by 750 is what? 2. Got it? So what is the multiplying factor? You got 2. Means if pointer is on 100 watt, here see pointer is on 100 watt for W1, means what is the actual reading? 100 into multiplying factor, means 100 into 2, that will be 200 watt. Now see for W2, it's a 300 into 5 ampere. Okay. So 300 into 5 ampere. 300 into 5 ampere. See here. For W2. Same thing. V range 300, I range 5 ampere, cos phi is 1. And this one, maximum scale deflection is 750. So 2. Means if you observe this lab manual over here, this one, last year's manual. So see W1 all reading, are they multiplied by 2? And W2 all reading, are they multiplied by 2? Is this clear? Why there is a need to calculate the multiplying factor?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? Okay. Okay. So see, next one is now why V range so, why I range so, that will tell you. Any wattmeter, if you see, it is a wooden color box, wooden color, means that box like this made up of wooden. So at top you will find 6 terminals are there. So first one is M, second one is L, third one is C, and for V 3 options are there. So if you observe the symbol, this is the current coil, this is pressure coil. Current coil is more inductive, that's why its symbol is like this. 2 terminals of it are marked as M and L. Pressure coil is more resistive, that's why it's and its 2 terminals are marked as C and V, and it is more resistive, that's why it is marked like this resistance. Then see M and C, if you observe this two terminals M and C, internally these two are open. Okay, for its working you have to short them. So as internally these two are open, what we'll do while doing connections, one wire you have to take and that you have to connect between M and C. Now what's about for V range L, you have to always connect to load. So V for voltage range selection, how much voltage you are going to apply on primary? 110 volt. That's why see one wire I have connected to 150 volt, and that's why for W1 V range is 150 volt. Okay, now if you observe second wattmeter, for second wattmeter again the same thing you do, M and C externally you short, L you have to connect to lamp load. And what's about for V range selection? On secondary, how much voltage you are getting? It's a step up transformer, 110 volt slash 220 volt. Means on secondary maximum voltage you will get 220 volt, and that's why V range I have selected here 300 volt. Okay, that's why specifications, if you see for W2, what is written in the circuit diagram, W2 specifications, if you observe here, it is written 300 volt. Okay, so why 150 on primary and why 300 on secondary? Clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then if you observe the wattmeter over here, it is how it is always connected. See, now we'll see why this 10 ampere and 5 ampere. Okay, so if you observe the wattmeter on its display, you will find below screen. See, on its display, you will find below screen like these plates are there. See, a wattmeter on its top, you will find 6 terminals are there. Okay, below it pointer scale arrangement is there like this. This scale ends at 750 watt. And below this scale, also on this scale, some blank space is over here. So here written 5 ampere, 10 ampere. So below the scale, here 4 screws are there, 4 screw, and 2 plates are there. So using this 4 screw, you can connect these plates in parallel or in series. Now, if you connect the plates in parallel, 4 and 4 ohm, resultant is 2 ohm, means resistance decreases, means current increases, and that's why more current range is for parallel connection of these plates, that is 10 ampere. Reverse is the case for series. So see, for parallel plates, for W1 we are going to connect plates in parallel, and that's why here 10 ampere. For a W2 reverse thing will happen. Using that 4 screw means any two, you lose that 4 screw, and using the 2 you can connect the plates in series. Series means what? Overlap. First one plate, above it, second plate you connect. So means the plates are said to be connected in series. In series, 4 plus 4, resistance increases, current will be less, and that's why current range is 5 ampere for second wattmeter. Okay, so see here circuit diagram. Here for first one wattmeter I have written 10 ampere, means how the plates are connected over here in parallel. On secondary, current range I have written 5 ampere, means obviously the plates are connected in series. Okay, why here only in parallel and why here only in series? Now see, in transformer you will learn V1 I1 is equals to V2 I2. Okay, in third unit you will learn V1 I1 is equals to V2 I2. What does it mean? V1 and I1 are inversely proportional and V2 and I2 are inversely proportional to each other. It's a step up transformer. Voltage on secondary you are going to increase compared to primary, means obviously I2 compared to I1 will be less, isn't it? And that's why less current range required on primary and more current range required on secondary. Sorry, reverse I told that more current range is required on primary and less current range is required on secondary. That's why you have to compulsory connect plates in parallel on primary. Here you can't say I'll connect the plates in series, but on secondary anything you can do. Connect plates in series, in parallel doesn't matter. Okay, got the thing? Okay, so W1 specification, W2 specifications clear. And once you get W1, W2 specifications, then V range into I range into cos phi divided by maximum scale deflection will be the multiplying factor. So both the wattmeter we are getting multiplying factor as 2. Means whatever the reading you will get, multiply it by 2, and that you write in observation table. Okay, now you tell me here, see, this is about the wattmeter. Now next one will see the experiment how to perform. Now what we are going to do, first one reading we are going to take at no load. No load means, is there any load connected on secondary here? See everyone, is there any load connected across secondary?
No.
No load is connected means secondary is open. Okay, who is giving the answer? What is your roll number? Very good. Yes, tell me your roll number.
8016.
16.
16.
Very good. Very good. 16. Okay. So see here, you will get good marks because you are answering all questions correctly. Very good. Okay. So see here, first one reading we are going to take at no load. No load means secondary is open. No load we are going to apply across secondary. So what we are going to do, see here, AC voltage we apply across primary, and that we are going to mark it as V1. AC voltage we are going to mark it as V1, and this one how much we are going to apply? 110 volt, and throughout the experiment we are going to keep it constant. Now once you apply 110 volt input voltage constant, circuit is closed one on primary, that's why current will flow I1 AC through primary winding. AC voltage you are applying, AC current will flow. As AC current flowing through primary, what it produces around it? Changing magnetic field. You are learned in 12th that AC current you pass through current, it produces around it changing magnetic field. DC current you pass through current, it produces around it stationary magnetic field. Okay, here N1 and N2, primary and secondary winding turns, both are wound on common magnetic core. Both are stationary, means transformer it's a static device. None of the part rotates. Okay, so primary is stationary, secondary winding is stationary, magnetic core also stationary. This changing magnetic field, it comes in contact with stationary N2 copper turns. What will happen as per Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction? Changing flux is coming.
EMF is induced.
Correct. EMF will get induced in secondary winding, and that induced EMF in third unit you will learn is E2. Its formula is 4.44 F phi Mn2. You will learn in third unit that all these parameters are constant, and that's why E2 always remains constant, and this will be approximately 220 volt. Got it? Now what will happen? This is about E2. Now this changing flux which is produced by I1, it is coming in contact with N1 number of turns also. N1 number of turns are stationary. Changing flux comes in contact with N1 number of turns. So as per Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, EMF also will get induced in primary winding turns, and you will derive in third unit EMF induced in primary winding turns is E1, capital E1, and its formula is 4.44 F phi Mn1, and all these parameters on left hand side are constant, and that's why E1 remains constant. Now E2 get induced in N2 and E1 get induced in N1. Now can you tell me, out of this E2 and E1, which is mutually induced EMF?
E2.
Correct. E2 is mutually induced EMF, and which one is self-induced EMF? E1. Okay. So now see here, EMF is induced in secondary. If I connect voltmeter over here, it will give you approximately 220 volt. Okay. If you observe secondary here, is there any load connected across secondary? Is secondary open? No load is connected. Correct. Is secondary open?
Yes.
Okay, secondary winding is open here. Now EMF is induced in it, but as it is open, will any current flow through secondary winding? Open circuit में से current flow होता है? No current will flow. no current will flow. That's why I2 at no load is what? 0. Because secondary for first reading, we are going to take first reading at no load. So secondary is open at no load. So although EMF get induced at no load, which is E2, no current will flow through secondary. If no current is flowing through secondary, will there be any power consumption on secondary?
No.
No power consumption. Means if you observe this observation table over here, see I2 and W2 are 0. Clear for first reading? Why I2 and W2 are 0? Because secondary is open. Now, whatever the EMF get induced in secondary winding in first reading at no load, what we call it as E2, and which is, as no load is connected on secondary, it is called as no load voltage. So see here, for first reading, whatever is the value of V2, you have to mark is as E2, because no load is connected and no load voltage is marked as E2 and not as V2. Got it? And from second reading, the all values will be V2. But whatever voltage you get at first reading, it is called as E2. Difference between E2 and V2, all of you got it? V2 is voltage across load. And first reading, V2 is marked as E2. E2 is no load voltage. Okay. Now see, from second reading, what we'll do? We'll connect the load across it, across secondary. Suppose I am going to switch on one lamp. See, now the connections will be like this. One lamp we have connected across secondary. Now is circuit closed one on secondary? Is circuit closed one on
Yes, ma'am.
secondary? Secondary, okay?
Yes.
हाँ, circuit is closed one, so इसमें EMF induce हो रहा है in secondary E2, which is approximately 220 volt, and it always remains constant, and circuit is closed one. So as EMF is induced and circuit is closed one, will current flow through secondary now?
Yes, ma'am.
Current will flow. So as current starts flowing, this lamp will glow. What does it mean? Electricity get transferred from primary to secondary by transformer, and it works on Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Okay. Now what will happen? Suppose for second reading, I am going to connect two lamps in parallel. For third, 4 lamps in parallel. Then 6, 8 and 10. Like this 6 reading. First one reading at no load. Then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 lamps in parallel. Now each and every lamp is of 100 watt. Now are we increasing the load on transformer? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 lamp means, are we increasing the load on transformer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, load on
Yes.
transformer, you go on increasing. Each and every lamp is of 100 watt means increased load will require more power or less power? Increased load, more power it will require. And here if you observe, voltages are constant. V1 is constant, E1 is constant, and E2 is constant. All voltages are constant. Increased load requires increased power. So how transformer will supply increased power to increase load? Yes. How transformer will supply increased power to increase load? It will take more and more current, isn't it? See, voltages are constant. What is the formula for power? VI cos phi. So voltages are constant. Cos phi is not in our hand. It depends on load. Okay. It depends on load. So what transformer does? It takes more and more current from supply. Got it? So that's why your I1, I2 reading will go on increasing. And as you are increased load, it requires more power. I1, I2 are increasing means your W1, W2 reading also will go on increasing. So see here, I1 and W1 and I2 and W2. All readings got increased. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. V1 is constant. Now which one parameter left? V2. Now why V2 decreases? We'll see. Okay. So see here, what is happening? Here, load on transformer you are increasing. Whatever the EMF get induced in secondary, it is constant. V1 and E1 is also constant. Load you increase, I1, I2, W1, W2 increases. Okay. Now see here, E2 is constant. Suppose it is 220 volt. You will not get it 220 volts, slightly less you will get, but consider it is 220 volt constant. Okay. Now as load on transformer you are increasing, I2 is increasing. So can you tell me whatever the EMF get induced in secondary, पूरा 100% get applied across load or less? इसमें EMF induce हो रहा है 220 वोल्ट, पूरा 220 वोल्ट ये लोड के अक्रॉस जाता है या लेस जाता है? लेस जाता है. कहाँ पे ड्रॉप? हाँ, लेस जाता है. कहाँ पे ड्रॉप होता है? ये जो कॉपर वाइंडिंग्स है, सेकेंडरी वाइंडिंग इज मेड अप ऑफ कॉपर, इट्स रेजिस्टेंस इज R2, current flowing through it is I2, so I2 R2 drop will be there. Okay, so whatever the EMF get induced in secondary, some percentage of it get drop across copper winding resistance and the rest is applied across load, which is marked as V2 or VL. This voltage equation you got on secondary. Okay, now E2 is constant, load you are increasing, that's why I2 is increasing, that's why I2 R2 drop will go on increasing. So E2 constant hai, I2 R2 drop बढ़ रहा है, so what will occur with V2? It will decrease. Clear? And that's why you can see here readings of V2, it decreases. Clear? Got the things?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, observation
ma'am.
table clear? Okay, so what you have to do, make the connections like this, apply, switch on the auto transformer, adjust this variable point so that 110 volt will be there, remove load across secondary for first reading, so and switch on the circuit, means I2 W2 will be 0, whatever the voltmeter reading you will get, that you mark as E2 no load voltage. And then from second reading, go on connecting lamp in parallel. First of all, 2 lamps in parallel, then 4, 6, 8 and 10. And for every reading, observe this 110 volt. If it is not 110 volt, with the help of this auto transformer variable knob, make it 110 volt. Okay. And go on changing load, note down all values. Whatever the wattmeter readings, multiply it by 2. Okay. First one reading at no load. That's why for first reading, do not calculate the efficiency and voltage regulation. So efficiency, can you calculate? See the result table. Output current and W2 as it is, you have to copy from observation table. Efficiency will be what? W2 by W1 into 100. Now which one left? Voltage regulation. So what is the formula for voltage regulation? See here. Formula of voltage regulation is what? E2 minus V2 upon E2. E2 is what? It is constant no load voltage, and V2 is what? Full load voltage. E2 I told you it remains constant. So how you can define voltage regulation? Change in voltage across load from no load to full load with respect to no load voltage. Okay. If you observe the reading, you will find voltage across at no load is maximum. Here it is we got it to 215, and then as you go on increasing load on transformer, this voltage decreases. What is expected at your home? Whenever you switch on every tube light fan, voltage across it should remain. Every tube light fan you switch on, what we expect? Voltage across each tube light and fan should remain
Constant. Same.
constant. Okay, but in transformer what is happening? See, जैसे आप लोड बढ़ा रहे हो 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10 lamp, is voltage across it constant or go on decreasing? Decreasing. This is not expected. What is expected? Voltage across load should remain constant. Means what? ये जो change in voltage है, numerator है, it should be 0%. Means voltage regulation की ideal value क्या है? 0%. Means ये जो change in voltage from no load to full load should be less, and that's why voltage regulation should be less. And what is the ideal value of voltage regulation? 0%. Like efficiency, what we expect, efficiency should be maximum 100%. Practically we don't get it. Same is the case with voltage regulation. Change in voltage across load should be very less. Means obviously ideal value of voltage regulation is 0%, but it can never be 0. Okay, practically ऐसा नहीं होता है because some voltage drop will be there across copper winding resistance of secondary winding, and that's why voltage across load will never be constant. Okay, so voltage regulation, you got it? Okay, so can you calculate voltage regulation also? For each reading, E2 will be constant, and go on putting the value of V2, you will get voltage regulation, and you have to plot the graph of first one graph. You have to plot efficiency versus output power. Take graph paper. Efficiency depends on output power, that's why efficiency will be along y-axis and power will be along x-axis. You will get the graph like this. Initially efficiency increases, reaches to maximum, and then go on decreasing. Second graph, you have to plot voltage regulation versus output current. Voltage regulation depends on current, that's why voltage regulation dependent parameter on y-axis. As you go on increasing load, current increases, V2 value decreases, and that's why voltage regulation will go on increasing. When I2 is 0, voltage regulation is 0. That's why your graph will start from origin. Got the things to graph, how you have to plot? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, तो देखो यहाँ पे क्या होता है, efficiency initially increases, then reaches to maximum, and then decreases. Why it is so? Reason behind it that, see, from this to this point, two losses takes place in transformer. One is copper loss, another one is iron loss. See here, I have written iron loss, Pi, which is called as copper loss, core loss, eddy current loss, hysteresis loss. So it is called as constant. You will learn in theory why it is called as constant. Okay. And another loss is copper loss. Primary winding, secondary winding made up of copper, I1 square R1, I2 square R2, copper loss. As load changes, I1, I2 changes. So I1 square R1, I2 square I2 changes. That's why it is called as variable loss. Means as you go on changing, moving from this to this point, this iron loss is constant and this loss is changing. In BL Thareja, you can find the condition at maximum efficiency for a transformer when both the losses are equal, both are suppose 500 watt, then that efficiency will be maximum. Then obviously what is the case below this point? Iron loss is greater than copper loss, and that's why initially efficiency increases. When both the losses are equal, then that is the maximum efficiency point. Beyond this point, you are still increasing the load on transformer. So what will happen? Copper loss becomes greater than iron loss, and that's why efficiency starts decreasing. Okay, so why the nature is like this? This is the reason behind it. See, this one this one PDF I posted on your batch official group, handwritten, 7 pages are there, but out of this only last 2 you have to submit. Which one pages you have to submit?
Last two.
Last 2. Okay, see here you write basic electrical engineering experiment number 5 you mention. By mistake I have written here 4. Okay, then write down your roll number, name, batch, then mention title, direct loading method on single phase transformer, circuit diagram. You have to draw it from e-manual page number 34. These all are the pages of what? E-manual. Then observation table from e-manual page number 35. See, in lab manual also observation table is there, that one you can refer, or whatever the last year copy I posted on your group, this one, either this one you use readings or from e-manual. Out of these two any you can use. We cannot run it on FileStart or Multisim because enough instruments not there, we can't change the specifications. On MATLAB you can run it, but MATLAB license copy not available, it's very costly, you or me can't purchase it. Got it? So what we ask to all batches to copy the readings. So either this one you copy or from e-manual you copy. Got it everyone? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you copy it, then do the calculations. See below this calculations are there. Here I have done calculations, or it is there on page number 35 in lab manual. First 4 calculations you have to do from specifications. Specifications means what? 1 kVA, 110 volt and 220 volt. This value you have to use. And 5th and 6th reading is what? Sample calculation of efficiency and voltage regulation, that you do from last reading. That is the 6th one. Okay. Then calculation you have to, here I have written at no load E2 is equals to V2, and then result table from page number 35. See, this is the result table, this one that you do. And then once you finish with result table, graphs, use 2 graph paper. Everyone compulsory have to use 2 graph paper. Okay, and then at the end, draw the graph, and then at the end, conclusion. Okay, so see, last year manual will show you. Before this pandemic situation, we were giving printed lab manual and some space is blank, like this meters students used to write while performing the practical. Will make the connection like this, and then they perform the practical in groups. They note down the readings, do the calculations, and then result table, and then the complete conclusion they write, and graph. See here, graph. This one I posted on batch official group. So like this graph, you have to draw efficiency versus output power and voltage regulation versus output current. Any difficulty? And this 4, 5, 6 experiment submission I told you, will float the link once we finish with 6th experiment. Before 24th of April, you have to submit the 4, 5, 6 together. Any difficulty? For PBL, SC, 20 marks are there. Maximum 4 students are allowed. And topics, last year topic will tell you, like smart dustbin, rain sensing alarm, or single phase induction motor, its construction, working principle, application. Same for generating station, you can means do the PPT. So select one topic, make it final. After 1 week, I'm going to float one Google Form link. There you have to enter final your PBL topic and group members, their roll number. Okay, so immediately you final one topic and start preparing PPT. For that, I told you on 6th we are going to finish. 6th of April we'll finish the last experiment. Then on 13th I will ask you how much PPT you prepared. Okay, and on 20th final presentation will be there. So whatever the assessment I'll do on 13th and 20th, I'll give out of that 20 marks for SC. Okay, and before 24th of April, you have to do the submission of 4, 5, 6. And what's about quiz 2? Quiz 2, I will conduct BEE quiz 2 based on experiment number 4, 5, 6. I'll conduct either between 12 to 17th of April or 19 to 24th of April. Okay, same. Quiz 2, 30 marks, 10 marks for 4, 5, 6 experiment, MCQ type questions. Link I'll post on official batch group, and then only 2 hours will be there. Because last time I put more hours, but this time only 2 hours will be there, and you have to submit your response. No need to join any meeting. Any queries regarding SC, PBL, or quiz 2, or 4, 5, 6 experiment submission? Then 26 to 1st, your submission week will be there for other subject. For electrical, I'll finish everything before 24, so that 1 week you will get for study. And from 3rd to 7th, that 8th May week, your INSEM and NSEM exam is there, isn't it? So before 24th, I'll finish everything for electrical. So any query?